The trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. That is one of the key principles of trading successfully. And today is day number 6 of the crowd psychology series on how Elliott waves allows you to be 2 steps ahead of the market. And an end of a wave 5 is the end of a trend. It's probably the most important wave to be able to identify, because you got an end of wave 5 of wave 1, 5 of wave 3, and a 5 of wave 5, 5 of 5, and then you get a big correction. So now we're going to dive in to the psychology, the principles that I apply by, where I can ignore the news and just focus on the technicals. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jagir, award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro, featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I only used to focus on currencies, but now exclusive on crypto. So let's dive straight in. So we're going to use Solana as an example. And by the way, just so you know, I'm going to share it with you later on, you can actually now join my R15 Crypto Gym, where you'll get access to my live charts, you'll get a boot camp, and you'll get my daily lessons, all for £1, which is in the description link below. It's absolutely phenomenal. Loving it, and loving seeing the gym fill up with people getting good results. So with the markets, now going with crowd psychology, day number 6 of this 6-part series is the markets moves in 5s and 3s. So 5-way sequence to the upside, and it's euphoria, optimism, and pessimism, depression that drives the markets. It's psychology, right? And if I can get that across to you, where you can literally ignore the fundamentals. Yeah, for retail venture capital, when you're getting in really early, that plays much more of a role. But in terms of when there's millions and millions and billions of volume going through a project, buying and selling coins, it's the psychology that we can measure. And this is the typical textbook pattern. And what we're going to focus on today is wave 5, right? The key principles. So with wave 5 is to be on high alert that we're coming towards the final end of the advance, which means after the final advance, we'll get a bigger correction than any former correction within that former trend. So let's now just drive this, right? So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Let's focus on this wave 5. So the market performance and fundamentals improve, but not to the level of wave 3. In other words, we are making new highs, so we'll see that. But we're not just talking about price. We're talking about market psychology, how the market is feeling compared to over here. Even though the market performance have improved, they're just not on the level of wave 3. And that's a clue. It's a clue, and you'll see this time and time again. Psychology creates overvaluation. People regain confidence, confirms wave 3 and conviction. So in other words, it's almost like hopium, right? End of wave 3, and in crypto is not that uncommon that you get an overextended wave 5. Sorry, wave 5 is overextended because of fear of missing out. And it precedes the largest correction since the wave 5 sequence began. So what do we mean by that? So let's just go over here again. Psychology creates overvaluation. Here people think, oh my God, it's a bargain. Here is like, oh, this is feeling a bit overvalued, even though there might not be that much of a price difference between the two. But it precedes the largest correction, right? So in other words, we've got this wave 4 correction and would have had a wave 2 correction of some sort. The next correction tends to be bigger in both time and price. And that's exactly what we saw with Solana. Without a shadow of a doubt, is exactly what we saw. So there's a few other things I want to cover with this, but I just wanted to tell you, if it's okay, a bit more about my crypto gym. I'm loving this. Like, it's phenomenal. I'm having the time of my life doing a daily workouts, focus on the BNB, and you get to experience it for 7 days for only £1. And boy, I've stacked the value, so it's a no-brainer. You get 1 week access to the classes. So the class that I'm focused on right now, and we're going to launch new ones in the future, is the Binance coin. Phenomenal chart patterns unfolding. You get the bootcamp, 7-day bootcamp of Elliott waves and Fibonacci price, some of the key fundamentals that you need to know so you can learn and get the most from the workouts. You get access to my private Telegram group, all for £1. How good is that? Right? So it's in the description link below. You'll absolutely love it. My team's been working incredibly hard on the back end. I'm working really hard on the front end to bring you timely information before it occurs with high probability. And our job is to identify an edge, so we become the casino. In other words, momentum, pattern, price, and time. Trade that edge without hesitation or reservation with confidence, but without being reckless. In other words, proper risk management, 1%, 2%, or 3%. And we give you a lot of that training also in the bootcamp. All right, the most important wave five, right? So what we're gonna look at is fifth wave is most important to recognize in the entire sequence because the biggest correction is about to occur. Wave 5 is the easiest to recognize because we've got the most amount of price information. So the technical aspect, so it's 9 times out of 10 always weaker than wave 3 in all measurements. And we're not just referring to it being shorter in price. We're talking about momentum. We're talking about volume. Well, actually, I'll tell you what we're talking about. The speed of price movement, which is momentum, less than wave 3. The volume, in terms of the amount of buying, actually is normally less. So even though there'll be a spike in buying, it will normally be less. And the time taken to form the wave 5 is less than wave 3 because wave 3 is normally the most impulsive in terms of price and time, and wave 5 is shorter in price and time. So less buying power as most would have been used up in wave 3. So the people that are buying wave 3, they've got their monies invested already. So by the time wave 5 comes, there's not that much money left over to drive the price to the next level. And the fundamental aspect is fifth wave has problems behind it that wave 3 did not have. Right? I don't know what they are, but there's normally problems. Whether it's something to do with the blockchain, whether it's the team, with the CEO, whether it's regulation, whether it's this, that, or the other. There tends to be more fundamental news and less optimism, even though it's quite optimistic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into a live chart with Solana. And this is the final day of the crowd herd psychology session. We did 6. This is day number 6, right? This is day number 6, right? So day number 6, we finished on wave 4, which is the beginning of wave 5. We did some Fibonacci ratios, we did the pattern position, and we also did some momentum. So now what do we anticipate for wave 5? Well, we're going to unfold this data. We backtracked it, but this is what I am anticipating in the coming weeks and months, especially the next wave 3. This is what we're anticipating on a bigger degree in Solana and also Binance Coin and some others. And it will tend to break down into a subdivided 5-wave sequence. So what we're talking about now with end of wave 5, it applies to this subdegree also. Really, really important. If we also went to a lower degree time frame, by the way, and we are looking to trade long on this wave 5, this wave C, guess what? Guess what it breaks down into? It also breaks down into a 5-wave sequence. We can't see it on this wave count, but if we drop down to like an hourly chart, I think I can drop down to an hourly chart. I don't know if it will mess up my wave counts. Let's have a look. Let's give it a go. Oh, no, it doesn't. Yeah, perfect. All right, let's have a look. All right, so this movement to the downside, this wave 4, right? What we're seeing over here is this part here. We can see a wave 1, a wave 2, what looks like to be maybe a 3, a 4, and a final 5. So if we were going long on this, guess we will go long. It will be above a swing high. This will be the last swing high, right? So going down to an hourly chart can give you more valuable information where everything that we've covered so far with the Elliott wave applies not only in the daily macro picture, but the exact same applies on the micro picture. Right? Just so we're clear on this, just so we're really, really clear. This looks like a wave 1, 2, some type of 3, 4, and a final wave 5. Let me just change the color because I'm going to keep this on because this is so important. I can't tell you how valuable this can be. And also, let me just make sure it's showing on the daily chart. Yep. All right, so now I'm going to pop back into the daily bar, so the daily chart, where we're back here. Now, when we're looking at this, okay, it's just not clear to see, right? Because there's not enough data, so there's not that much value having it on the daily chart. So I'm just going to remove it from the daily, keep it on the hourly. But what we have, so I need to. There's one more thing on TradingView. Just need to double click this, make sure it's visible on the daily. Yep, that's what I wanted to show you. Is this black line, and it also coincides with the 1 bar high. It tells us on the next 1 bar high or the swing high, it's the first signal that this wave 4 is likely to be complete. And then we should see price exceed the former wave 3. And what should be the price movement? Well, there's a couple of things. I'm going to keep it really, really simple, actually. I'm going to use something called the external retracement. One of the best things to project end of wave 5s. I covered this in the bootcamp, by the way, in the R15 Crypto Gym. And I just want to go, the two ratios is 1.618 and 1.272. Right, perfect. Right, so we have this minimum target zone. So now let's just see how it unfolds. So I'm just unfolding the data, and let's just clean this up a little. Again, this is backtracked since this is October 2021, but it's really to see that this crowd psychology plays out time and time again. So what do you see? So now, what I see is a pretty clean, some type of move to the upside, wave 1, wave 2, what looks like a wave 3, a wave 4, and a final part of a wave 5. So again, on this, we would want to be really on the high alert. Remember what I said. Remember what I said over here, right? Over here, not here. This is the gym. This warning, danger zone, is because the biggest correction to date, that's bigger than any form of correction, is likely to occur. So this gave us a huge warning ahead of time, because this is what we've had with Solana. And some people just, it's hard to kind of face it, to go, could it be, because sometimes it just feels like it's just going to keep going. It's going to keep going, it's going to keep going. And I go, no. When we're at this point, like this is tighten your stop loss, take some profits. Yeah, so how do we take profits on this? There's a couple of ways. One is you have your stop loss no lower than the wave 4. But guess what? I'm going to show you something really special, because now we're going to go to a 5 over 5 over 5. You go, what'd you get? I go 5 over 5 over 5. This final part of the 5-wave sequence. Let me make sure this is visible on the hourly chart as well, because I'm going to drop down to an hourly chart. I'm drop down to an hourly chart. I'm just going to just zoom in. I want to take reference of the blue arrow. That gives us good context. What we can do is we can see this price action is making nice swings to the upside. So as you're approaching the wave 5 of 5 price target, time target, pattern targets, etc., you would literally tighten your stop loss to the swing lows. So every new swing low, we'll just let the market unfold on the hourly. Oh, we would have got stopped out there. So we would have got stopped out here. Let's move back to the daily. Go back to our daily chart. Let me just clean this up and clean this up here. So we would have got stopped out. But I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. It might not be the exact top. We don't care, because that's a pretty decent move to the upside. Good profits. Doesn't compare to the wave 3. But more importantly, what are we anticipating next? Now that we've had this first indication that we've finished a wave 5 of a wave 5, what do we anticipate next? Well, if I just clean this chart up, and let's just say we're stopped out, and we did this in advance, right? And this is what we're going to see time and time again with all cryptocurrencies. After the finish, because we're on series number 6, right? Day number 6 today of the full series. What should you anticipate after a 5-wave move to the upside? Well, I'm going to do it over here. Let me just, I know we've got a lot on the chart, right? Let me just, I think you'll get the picture. What we're going to do is we're going to do a retracement. I'm going to do it from over here. We're going to take this low to this high. The minimum correction. Now, we don't know at this point how far the correction will go, right? We do not know. But we know the minimum more often than not is 50%, then 62 and 78.6. And we should always anticipate a minimum of 3 waves. All right, so this is now what we are anticipating ahead of time. I'm just going to get rid of these waves because this is backdated data. But look how textbook it unfolds. Right, the market goes literally, makes its first move down. Now at this stage, we wouldn't know if this is the end of the correction or if it's just wave 8. But we can get some clues. What are some of the clues? Well, one of them is Fibonacci time. We can take the, if I can just move this over here. if I take the beginning of the sequence to the end of the sequence, and what this tells us is more often than not, a correction is a minimum of 38%, which is this here, and this has not reached that minimum. So this will indicate to me that this is probably just a wave A, and it looks quite impulsive as well. Then we had a textbook. Hopefully it's making sense to you. We had a textbook ABC correction of a wave B, and what we're talking about is this move to the upside. Let's just unfold this data. So as it unfolded, it's an irregular ABC, and it's irregular because this low gets exceeded, but it's one of the patterns that you'll see, A, B, C of a wave B. And then when we see this, well, there's a few clues. This will tend to break down into a 5-wave sequence. So we're looking for one more move to the downside, and then we're going to come up to where the data is as of today. So let's just zoom this out like so. And let's just unfold the data. Now, as this is unfolding, we have some more new information. What new information do we have? All right, well, we have wave B is complete because we've got this new low. Wave A is complete. So we can basically now do something very, very special. We can measure wave A. I did this in one of my previous videos. Project it from wave B. If I can make sure I get the click. Measure wave A. Project from wave B. And the two key ratios that we want is 62% and 100%. 100% is literally off the charts, but we'll keep it there anyway. It's literally all the way down there. So it's unlikely to go to 100%. But then what do we have? Well, the market is unfolding. I'm just going to clean this up. Let's just clean this up. The market is unfolding into... Sorry, I wanted to keep these. We can get rid of the 50%. We've passed that. We can get rid of the 62%. We've passed that. The market is in this typical extreme of a wave 2 correction. Right? When I say wave 2, we're talking about this whole thing becomes a wave 1, and then this whole thing becomes a wave 2. So what does a wave C break down into? Well, just as we learned, it also breaks down into 5 waves. So one of the reasons we can be quite confident that we are very likely to see all-time new highs with Solana is look at what this pattern is unfolding into. It looks like, let's just break this down. Solana is breaking down into a 5-wave sequence to the downside. Now, we're not complete. We're not complete by any means, but we look like we're close. We look like we are very close towards the end of a major, major correction. So what can we do with this information? Well, it's really now preparing ourselves for a potential low in this region that may be very similar to the low that we saw down here. This is the whole point of this series, is to get this into your mind to go, what we saw down here back in December 2020, we are seeing again in July 2022. If that's the case, what should we anticipate? Well, this one had this movement to the upside. What should we anticipate? Well, there's no reason, like we want to see this. Like we want to see price, obviously, as it unfolds to get some confirmation above this high over here and so on and so forth. But we got the high probability outcome is that we're going to see Solana go towards $450. That's a 20x. And if you're trading that, we're talking about some phenomenal potential profits. What we're talking about also is a new 5-wave sequence. You know, something along these lines, Really, really important, really, really powerful. Now, if you can identify this in advance, and at different points, we want to identify the wave 2 of this wave 3, the wave 4 of this wave 3. This will also break down to a 5-wave sequence. So hopefully now you're seeing the power of Elliott Wave, by far the best tool on the planet to read the market, especially crypto. Why? Because the market psychology is so raw. So I break this down in my daily workouts. So I'm inviting you to join me in my R15 Crypto Gym 1-week trial for £1. £1. I know, I can't believe that we're doing it for £1, but you're going to get so much value. We're focused on the Binance coin, which is also doing a very, very similar chart pattern to what we just saw with Solana. And we're anticipating something really similar with Binance coin coming towards the end of a ABC correction and anticipating all-time new highs with Binance coin. And we're going to look to ride those trends. And a few trends can make your whole year in terms of returns. With the gym, you're going to get access to the gym, the daily workouts, very, very easy. You'll join it. It's all done via Telegram, very convenient. We do some live stream workouts also. You're going to get the bootcamp. You get the bootcamp. You're also going to get my crypto charts. You're going to get, initially it's going to be Binance coin, Solana, and Ethereum. So you click on Ethereum. Let's say you want an Ethereum update. It's literally my live charts, not just the picture, not just the static image. We're talking about as soon as I make an update, you'll be able to see the update. You can copy it and put it into your own trading view, and you can use the template as you see fit, all included with the £1 gym trial. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving it. So hopefully I'll get to see you in tomorrow's workout. So if you like today's content, well, not as detailed, but today was the finish of the 6-part series of crowd psychology. We just use Solana as the example. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Get yourself into the gym. I think you're going to absolutely love it. We're getting some phenomenal feedback. So we're going to finish on a quote. Actually, I'm going to go with one rather than my book and go over on the top of my head. There's a book called Black Box Thinking, and there's a phenomenal quote. It says, beneath every success is a mountain of necessary failure. Beneath every success is a mountain of necessary failure. And the reason I bring that up is to learn, you have to go through some challenges, right? There's going to be things that you don't know. And it's like driving a car. At first, you don't know. And with practice, with repetition, with consistency, it becomes second nature. And you want to drive and ride and surf the markets like it was second nature. But it's going to take practice. And this is why I created the R15 Crypto Gym, so you can speed up your learning curve, having me as your mentor, your trainer, and seeing the daily workouts. And then you can apply those same principles to any coin of your choosing. And you'll be able to fish whenever you like. All right. Give me a like, and hopefully I'll see you in tomorrow's workout in the R15 Crypto Gym. I'll see you there.